Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. My name is Dr. Rita Sonko, a public health physician. I am the host of this show, and I aim to help you engage with different guests to understand more about mental health. Remember, Toli Wekka, you're not alone. It's very important for us to break the stigma and break the silence about mental health. Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. Today I have a special guest, Mr. Henry Nkambwe.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. I met you a few weeks ago, maybe a few days ago even. Time flies. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know, the conversations that we had briefly inspired me into thinking that, wow, there's a great story to share here.
Right.
And please tell our viewers a little bit more about you so they know who is Henry, where are you coming from, what are you doing?
All right. Greetings, our viewers. My name is Nkambwe Henry, and most people know me by my stage name, the Drumboss. That's what I use. Yes. Yeah. So I'm a drummer by profession, and I play bass guitar. I play a couple of instruments, and I'm a producer. So I do a lot around music, honestly. So I come from a humble family, very musical, by the way, and I was born in a village. So I came to the city, I think, at the age of, I think 7. So I have my uncle who is a brother to my father.
Yeah.
So I remember I was in the village by then, and he was so actually interested in what I was or what I am, like the musical part of it. Yeah. So he's also a musician actually. Has wrote a lot of many songs for artists, both are like in the church world and the secular world. So he was so like he loved me so much, honestly, and. So, but then I was in the village and I wasn't going to school, and he was like, you know, I should take you to the city and start living with me. Yeah. So I saw that as an opportunity, and actually that's where everything started. Like that's where my life started. Wow. So he talked to my father, and I was like, okay, I want to take Henry to the city to start living with his brothers who are my cousins. Yeah. So I started living with my cousins, and trust me, they have loved me as they are like biological. Okay, we're like brothers, but you know what it means. I mean, it's not easy, you know, to grow up with cousins, you know. Sometimes like they treat you somehow, but these guys have loved me so much. Wow. So basically, like that's how my love started, like I told you. And so he introduced me to church. Well, my mother is a pastor, and but you know, like when you're still young, you're not so interested. Like, of course, it was a must to go to church. But I mean, like when I came to the city, that was, you know, a bit different. You know, so yeah. So that's some kind of introduction. Like, to those who don't know me.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I think that story again highlights the importance of giving hope.
Right.
And discovering talent.
Yes.
So your uncle saw the talent even before you, probably before you even ever drummed.
Yes.
You know.
So like when I was still young, so like I used to actually play, like, you know, as you know, a young kid, you know, like, okay, this will be a footballer. You start like, you know, kicking the basket. So that's how I was like when I was growing up. So I used to actually make my instruments. Wow. Yeah, through like I could actually make like xylophones. I'm in Uganda, for those who don't know. So I would actually, you know, make my xylophones and I start playing. Wow. So I remember like when I was so young, I made a guitar out of a jerry can. Wow. So like so I cut the jerry can, then I cut around, I cut a hole, then I passed all the wire, the mesh, and then I made a guitar. So like I remember one Sunday we were supposed to minister in church. So they're like, okay, you have to carry your guitar. It's so funny, like it was out of tune, but for me I didn't mind. I didn't mind, so I was just playing. So that is how, like, you know, musical, like my family is, and that's how musical I am. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So you worked with pretty much nothing, what someone would consider nothing,
yes,
to create a musical instrument that actually probably inspired you already at a very young age.
Yeah.
So fast forward, you're older, you've got through an education, and you're now in this space as a music director, producer, and you know, you're a man of many talents. Yes, so how have you used these talents to inspire other young people? What are you doing? Maybe tell us a little bit about your own ministry using this. Yeah.
So before jumping into the ministry part of it, for those who don't know, like I've worked actually with at least most of the top artists in Uganda.
Wow.
Which is actually a blessing to me, honestly. It leads me to the question you're actually asking me, the ministry and where I got the inspiration from and everything.
Yeah.
So I've been watching, like, you know, the people, how they do their things, like, you know, the artists, and it has really helped me, you know, like, okay, find out, like, okay, what can I do, you know,
what can
as a
you
musician,
offer?
as a musician. And I've realized actually, like a lot of young musicians actually look up to me, you know, they look up to me because me, I entered the industry when I was still young. Yeah. So I think when they see me, like when they saw me, like, you know, playing, and you know, they see me on TV, you know, playing for some artists, I think it inspired them. Yeah. So I, like, you know, like some could actually come to you and say, okay, you know, man, I want to be like you. Yeah. You know, I want to do this like you. I was like, okay. I didn't know, like, you know, like people, like, you know, be watching, like, whatever you do.
Yeah, you know? They are watching and drawing.
So, and I sat down and I was like, okay, what can I do at least to help out, or, like, you know, like, to do something like that I will live, because I believe, like, one day I will live, but you know what I've done actually will stay forever. Yeah. You know, I thought of, like, you know, starting up a foundation. Yeah. And this foundation actually, you know, deals with mentorship and nurturing young talents, you know, to become better musicians and professionals and skilled musicians. So I thought of, you know, like, okay, what can I do? You know, like I've had, like I have out of, you know, like young musicians who look up to me and everything, you know, so they want to be like me. And I was like, okay, what can I do? I mean, to give back, kind of to give back.
And to use your talent,
exactly,
right?
and to use my talent.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's your foundation called?
It's called Creative Rhythms Foundation.
Creative Rhythms Foundation.
Yes. Wow. So Creative Rhythms, actually, I was looking for a name. Yeah. So, and you know, like whenever I'm going to do something, I consult my family members, because they are musicians. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I mean, they are seniors and they've been in the industry, like, before me, you know. Yeah. So I talked to my brothers. I was like, okay, man, there's something that is bothering me. I have a vision, but I don't know how, you know, to start. So I talked to a couple of, you know, like my families, and then there's a friend called Enoch, actually. He's actually, we've been like friends, like, since childhood, and you know, we learn actually a lot from each other. Yeah. So I was like, man, Enoch, because he has been in the game before, you know, he knows more about ministry and everything. So I was like, man, I want to start something. What can I do? Yeah. So I said, like, first you have to get a name. You register it. Yeah. He actually helped me to register it in the you know, like, with the government. Yeah. So he did actually help me with everything. So I sat down and I was like, okay, what name can I, you know, so, like, they gave me a suggestion of names. So, and then what stand out for me, like, it was Creative Rhythms Foundation, because it has that music, the rhythm, and creativity, and everything. So that's how, you know, I started up, like, you know, Creative Rhythms Foundation.
And with Creative Rhythm Foundation, like you said, you're doing a lot of mentoring of young people who want to come into the music industry, who are looking up to you as a mentor, as an inspiration, and you're helping them along the way. Yes. I can imagine that in that kind of space, you come face to face with a lot of people coming from challenging backgrounds, dealing with a lot of things. Yeah. How do you manage to help them stay on track with their vision, their dream, and try to, you know, work this vision and dream?
So, I didn't know much about leadership, honestly, to be honest. But I have a brother. He's my elder brother is called Rogers. He's a good leader, trust me. So we are in the same church, and he was leading a team, a musical team. But I was watching him. I mean, I used to see how he does his things. You know, he's a very, very humble guy and very intelligent. So I used to watch him, and you know, like, I mean, I was so inspired by him. I mean, like regarding like the leadership kind of part of it. Yeah. So that taught me, like, actually, when you're a leader, you deal with different people. You
Absolutely.
know? So you deal with different people, like, you know, of different backgrounds and everything. So that really helped me, and you know, I learned slowly by slowly, you know, like how to become a leader, and you know, of course, reading and, you know, watching my pastors, you know, and it really helped me, like, you know, deal with different people. Doesn't matter where you come from, the background and everything. So yeah, that really helped me, and at least for now, I know how to deal with actually, you know, people, because I mean, there are a lot of people who like he wants to learn, but he can't even come, you know, like approach you. Okay, okay, how can I do this? And you know, and there are people who like they have nothing. So like, you come to learn, but you don't even have a drumstick. Like you don't even have like a pair of, you know, drumstick, and you don't have like anything.
So you wonder, where am I going to begin?
Okay, you've come to class, you don't have a pen. So what are you going to do? But as a leader, I knew how to, you know, to handle such, you know, situations. So there are friends, couple of friends who like, you know, help out, like from the US, you know, like they donate, like, you know, drumsticks and everything.
Resources.
Yeah. So like when they donate, like these people who actually, you know, don't have. So I give out, actually, you know, a couple of pairs, you know, these people. So
get them along their way and get started.
So like back to your what you're saying about, like, you know, leadership. I've learned from, like, you know, different people, you know, and I mean, learning doesn't stop, you know.
No,
like you always
absolutely.
learn from people,
It's a lifelong experience, and in fact, when we stop learning, we stop growing. And when we stop growing, we go back to God. We die. But so I think one of the things that was coming to my mind as well as we were talking here is the difficulties young people face where they don't have any mentorship and support to know how to communicate, to know how to express themselves, to know how to basically pursue their goals. And they need that kind of mentorship. But at the same time, as a mentor, you also need resources to be able to do this work, because it's very resource intensive, it's time intensive. People have a lot of needs. And I know that you have approached and been supported by some of the, you know, organizations like Rotary and others. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that works? How have you worked with organizations to really expand your reach to people?
Thank God you've mentioned about, like, you know, organizations I've worked with Rotary clubs. So I've worked with like this organization called Fenato Junet, deals with children with disabilities. So they call me, like, you know, talk about music, because like these people with disabilities, actually, they love music. Actually, people don't know that. You find that there's a guy who doesn't actually speak, and, you know, like, doesn't, you know, like hear. But actually, I wonder how he feels the sound. So I think, you know, like he dances on beat. You know, like, but he doesn't hear, but I mean, he doesn't talk, but, you know, like, dance on the beat. So, I mean, these organizations actually call me, you know, to speak about, you know, these young people, I mean, concerning music. So last time I was the Rotary Club of, you know, Kampala North and Muyenga, and they called me to talk about music and ministry, of which that's what we do as Creative Rhythms Foundation. And it's such a good experience, honestly. It's such a good experience, and honestly,
it brings hope.
It brings hope to people. Like when you share, like sometimes when you share with people, like you never know what you do to their lives. What impact you actually, you know, like add to their life. But so like this, I've realized, like whenever I speak about this music and ministry, you realize that like people actually, you know, they are interested, like, even if like they, after like talking to them, like they will actually come and ask you questions.
Yeah, engage more.
They engage, and and music is actually one of the things that has really played part when it comes to mental health and disabilities, and like music has really played a lot of like a big part. Like when you're sad, you play music.
Exactly.
When you're happy, you play music.
Exactly.
I mean, like music is everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you bring that up, because that was, it's in fact my next question around how you have used the music to really help people who are struggling.
Okay.
And I know that a lot of people don't necessarily understand mental health. When we say mental health, people think we're talking about those that are throwing stones, walking naked on the streets.
Yeah.
But with mental health, we're talking about the well-being of your mind. And all of us have a mind. And you have used music, like you said, whether it is times of sadness, whether it's times of happiness, music plays a part. So what have you seen in your ministry as things that really, really are helpful to do to make sure that we continue this journey of giving people hope? Because hope is an incredible ingredient in life. It's essential, but it's sometimes scarce. Sometimes people don't have any hope. How do you use music to inspire hope in people?
All right. So I'll borrow one of the slogans of the church, like one of the church like that we visited in the US. It's called Journey Church in Bend. So their slogan is "There's hope for everyone."
There's hope for everyone.
Yeah. So I mean, like whenever I feel like you're hopeless, and I mean, just remember like there's hope for everyone.
I think if people can continuously hear that message and be positive, it really transforms lives. Because I think that without hope, what can you achieve really? You cannot, it is hope that drives you to achieve your vision, or to pursue a mission, or to pursue your career or your studies, because you're hopeful that something else is coming forward. So I was wondering about the music journey of many of these people that you're mentoring, and how that music has inspired them to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me personally, I didn't know like actually I would be like where I am today. Like, but but because I had hope, like I never knew like I would stand on like big stages, as a musician, because that's like everyone's hope. Like when you're a musician, you want to work with like one artist, to be a famous one. At least you would want to step on like one of the stages, the big stages. So but I never lost hope. Like it's not easy at the beginning. Honestly, it needs hard work. You need to put in a lot. Like a lot of practice and everything. And with time, I always say, I always tell my students, because there are a lot of students who ask me like, okay, man, what can I do, like to be like, to step on big stages, what can I do, like, like to play for this artist? What did you do to do this? So one thing I tell them like this: just have hope, and there's time for everything. So if it's not your time, of course, just relax, just rehearse, and like time will come,
and to have the discipline to carry on with what
just
you need
be
to
humble.
do.
That's actually one of the biggest one. Even if like you are one of the top like drummers in the world, and you're not humble, trust me, you're not going anywhere. So that's one of actually the things that has really kept me like going. Like not forgetting that like me coming from the humble background, and like when you're not humble, honestly, you're not going anywhere. It will really push you like further. Like when you're humble, respectful, and you go like places, trust me. So
with a lot of people feeling discouraged, and people will tell us today the economy is hard, things are hard, youth are disgruntled, they don't see where they are going. How do you inspire them to keep going on this mission, whatever it is that they are doing? I think we need more voices, especially people who can tell a story like you're telling a story about having come from a humble background, worked hard, and pursued and ended up on big stages. Now you have many of these young people out there disgruntled, but one of the biggest challenges is this issue of being disgruntled and then saying, let me try something that will make me happy, kind of instant gratification.
Yeah.
So that drugs and substances come in, and the music industry is notorious for, you know, that reputation of people using drugs and substances. How do you help them keep on focus on their dream without those distractions and temptations of doing those things? Yeah,
to be honest, this world is not like, you know, it's a bit harsh. You know, people will tell you like different things, you know, like they'll actually, you know, discourage you or something like that. But what you need to do, like, to stay on track, I mean, like, people will actually, you know, say negative things. You know, like, when you go like on social media, like you post something, like people will comment a lot of negativity.
A lot of negativity.
Exactly.
Ooh,
but you know, like, that shouldn't, you know, like make you stop, like whatever you do, like pursue whatever you want to pursue. Like, just stay on track, and you know, like, with time, like I told you, like with time, everything, you know, like will change. And like sometimes, like, you know, people want things very, very fast to happen very fast. So that's where actually, you know, okay, he wants to be a star like in a month. Because, I mean, like, the thing, like, I mean, like, it is time, you know, like, so even if you want to become a better musician, it takes time, you know, like with rehearsals and everything. So
perfection
it takes time.
Comes with time. I think there's something, I think it's a common, you know, thing out there that you need to put in 10,000 hours of practice to become a super, you know, specialist in something. But today, young people want instant.
Exactly.
You know, I can make money quickly. I can become
so there's a friend who plays for one of the actually best bands. It's called a Wekka band. It's called Michael, is the guitarist. So Michael used to rehearse like day and night. Like this is like, I mean, like real story. For you who are like, for those of you who don't know Michael plays for a Wekka band. So, but actually we started like kind of together, you know, like. But Michael used to rehearse like, I mean, day and night. But right now he plays for like one of the best bands we have in town, you know. So like practice, and you know, like I was saying, you know, like it doesn't come in a minute or like in a day, you know. It comes with time, you know, like
it's a big investment.
It's a big investment.
Commitment, consistency,
And many people will discourage you, and I've seen a lot of actually artists who, like, you know, kind of get into depression because they didn't get what they expected. So they thought probably this is a, you know, the smooth journey, you know, like you're going to make a hit song and then that's it forever.
That hit song.
I've seen artists like you have one hit song and then tomorrow you have nothing. And they want to stay, like, you know, in the news. You want to stay on the, you know, like people's mind, people's ears, you know, and that's where the problem comes in. You know, like you think everything just comes in a minute. So there's hard work, you know, like everything is hard work, you know, everything is hard work. So like you don't expect things to come like, you know, I mean, just on a silver platter. So you have to work for it, and just don't put yourself on pressure. You know, like
the pressure is too much.
The pressure, you know, you make one hit song and then you don't want to eat. You go back to the Toni Nyira to eat your katogo. You know, you know, I've seen actually. You know, like back then I was playing for Bebe Cool back in the days. And you know, people used to see me on TV. By me, I don't care, man. I used to go and eat my katogo down there, you know, like on street. Because I mean, I can't, you know, like, you know, put in a life where, you know, like, it's not my life. Like, okay, I haven't like yet afforded it. So why would I put myself on pressure, you know, like to go and eat at Sheraton, you know, to eat at Serena? Like, I mean, it's not yet there. It's not there. So like, that's what fame does. You know, like when you're famous, you know, like a lot of things has to change. A person who was staying in like a 200 bedroom house, you want to sleep in like 2 million, you know, bedroom house. So like,
so you're coming from trying to go 10 times to where you can really afford.
Exactly.
And then you come crumbling down because you can't maintain the lifestyle.
So like that's where actually people, you know, like when you no longer make the money or like you don't have a hit song, that's where, you know, like depression start kicking on. Okay, why do people like no longer, you know, clap for me? Why do people no longer, you know, like
they can't
you know, like yearn for me when they see me? So like, a lot of artists actually going through that because you know, like I think there are some stages they jumped. So they jumped from like, you know, from stage A like to Z. You know, like you have to follow, you know, you have to follow.
There's ABC, but they jumped all the way to Z.
So I mean, just take your time. Everything comes with time, and you know, like hard work and everything. So
this issue of establishing the path to greatness, and not jumping and hoping to achieve something so quickly only to come crumbling down. So understanding that it takes time to achieve greatness.
I mean, it takes time.
Sustainable greatness. You can be a hit today but tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you want to sustain, it's going to take time.
Just just be easy. You know, like just just take it easy. I mean, everything takes time, and you know, like I mean. Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in one day,
exactly.
as they say.
That's right.
As they say.
That's
right.
Right.
So as we conclude, I want us to again reflect a few things that you've talked about regarding musicians, you know, celebrities and mental health. And it seems that that's a real big challenge. And it comes down to probably gaps in how they are mentored and supported to understand what you're saying, that Rome wasn't built in one day. What can you say to these people out there who might get a chance maybe to watch this episode and understand that, you know, Toli Wekka, you're not the only one out there who may be having lows. You had some highs, but there are lows. And there's help out there, there's hope out there. You get a konabo abantu baffe.
Abantu baffe bano changes of bagamba, like you said. Actually, I like this. This is a slogan. It's a slogan, or
we can say a slogan. Yeah, let's call it a slogan.
So, like, you're not alone. I've seen a lot of people. Like, I've seen a lot of musicians. And it's so funny, actually, people don't know about mental health. Me personally, like, I didn't know much about mental health, honestly. But, like, when you start working with, like, organizations, like people like you, actually, who teach about mental health, then you start getting a picture of, what it means, and, but, like, you're not alone, like, don't do drugs, because, I mean, a lot of, they think, when you do drugs, actually, you take off, whatever you think.
Let me take out the stress and smoke this thing,
I mean, like, just take your time. I mean, like, don't be on pressure. I mean, everything takes time, and, just take it easy, and drugs is not like, the solution.
Absolutely.
It's not the solution. Me personally, actually, thank God that I grew up in like a Christian family. Actually, it really helped me so much, because the kind of environment, like I was working in. I mean, working in the bars, like you're playing here and someone is smoking weed, and but thank God, like I was, like, just God helped me. It really, God really helped me, like, because I was young. That's the kind of age, like you think like people will copy. You see someone, you say celebrity, you're not smoking, and I'll be like, I want to be like him, But I mean, I realized actually, like, you don't need to do drugs to be a celebrity. You don't need to do drugs to be a star. You don't need to do this to, I mean, just be you. Like, don't try to copy like whatever you see on social media or whatever you see like artists do. I mean, these artists actually, go through a lot. I've seen a lot of them. What you see is not what they are.
It's not the reality.
It's not the reality.
What you see in social media.
Exactly. There's something called showbiz. I've worked with like, Bebe, who is one of the people who knows show business. He's one of the people who knows show business. So I mean, like, whatever like these people do, and when you go back their families, actually, these people are like humble people, like but when it comes to camera, when you put a camera in his face, you show you a different picture of what you want to see. So I mean, don't be, don't take the wrong, don't copy the wrong part of their life. At least copy the good thing about them, and stay away from the drugs, please. Stay away from drugs.
Very, very important.
They are
message.
very, stay away from drugs. Of course, like, we have the future ahead of us, because Uganda, like, I think you have like most of population is like their youth. So I mean, like, let's stay, and so that we can see tomorrow. So I mean, just stay away from the drugs. That's what I can say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me.
I think that understanding that a journey begins with a few steps. Even a journey of 1,000 miles, you have to start with a few steps.
Exactly.
But it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yes.
Ugenda mpola
you have to pass, just take your time.
And it's your own journey. It's your own path.
Yeah.
You're not in a sprint with someone else.
Right.
Follow your own path.
Yeah.
And follow your purpose. What is your purpose?
You have to know your purpose by now. That's very, very important.
That's really critical. If people know that
yeah.
and understand that they are in their own individual race,
exactly.
They don't need to copy anyone. They don't need to put themselves under unnecessary pressure.
Yeah.
I think they will arrive where they are going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you, Dr. Rita. You know, like, it's so funny, like, people meet for a reason. You know, I never knew we actually would end up from here. And I was talking to Enoch, and I was like, okay, I met some lady, you know, we talked about this and this, and you know, like, people meet for a reason.
Yeah.
And you know, like, that's a good thing about, you know, like, you know, being free and to people, you know, like
being able to talk and share a little bit.
Exactly. So I never knew we'd actually, you know, end up from here. The way we met, you remember the way we met, and I want to appreciate you for this platform. I appreciate you, like, you know, and still Toli Wekka, and you know, there's hope for everyone.
Absolutely.
Please, stay blessed. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right.
Yeah.